Good evening, everybody. It's November 1st, and it's kind of late. I'm working a late shift this week, so I don't even get off work until 8 p.m. And then by the time I come home and make dinner and visit with my son a little bit, it's late. But I didn't want this day to get away without making a video and an update on my pre-op status. I know that my information was all submitted to insurance on October 20th. And so yesterday afternoon, I called the insurance company and the approval came through. I'm approved for surgery, finally, yay! So I got real excited, but it was pretty close to 5 o'clock at that point. And I called the doctor's office and left a voicemail with their insurance specialist to let her know that, we got a number. I don't know what she was looking for, but I think it was an approval number or something that she could research. And so this morning, I got to work at 11 o'clock. And I knew that I had to do, I was supposed to work a job fair today, and I did do that this afternoon. But I knew I wasn't going to have a lot of alone time because I was going to be there with one of the managers and some other coworkers, a girl who's on my team. So I wanted to set a good example and not be like holding my phone and paying attention to that. But so I called the insurance girl this morning around 11 and said, hey, I got the approval. So she said, well, then the next phone call you get will be from the nurse. And I went to the job fair and oh my goodness, I had to keep looking at that phone. But then again, it was like, I really don't want everybody to know I'm having surgery, so I didn't really want to take the phone call in front of my coworkers because I knew I was going to have a lot of questions and so forth. So luckily though, the nurse called me about 4 o'clock after I had gotten back from the job fair, and I have a surgery date. Dun, 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 dun. The surgery date is October 15th. So I'm looking at exactly 2 weeks from today. Wow, that's fast. And not fast all at the same time. So I will be, this Thursday, I have my pre-op appointment where I'll go and I'm not exactly sure what all the tests are. I guess blood work, EKG, and I don't know. I'll know what else. And that's Thursday morning. And then afterwards, I'll go meet with the doctor, the surgeon, and have a checkup with him and go through whatever I have to go through. I don't even know what to expect, to be honest. Maybe you guys can give me some advice on what do they do in that appointment. Anyway, and then next week, I don't have any appointments. Well, I do, but I'll talk about that later. And then the Monday before my surgery, I am going to go to a pre-op nutrition class. I'm not really exactly sure what it's all about. It's like 2 hours long, and it's in the evening, and we're talking about the eve of my surgery because this is the only time. They only do them twice a month, and that's the soonest that they can get me into it. So I had to take that. But I talked to my boss, and I'm like, I just need to take that whole day off because I'm going to have to pack. I've got things to worry about, things to think about. Plus, I'm going to have to get off early anyway to go to that appointment. And I'm pretty sure she's going to approve that. So it's happening. So the other thing was on Thursday, I was supposed to go see my primary care physician for my quarterly lab work for my diabetes. And I think I'm going to call them tomorrow and say, let's just postpone that until after the surgery. And I think she'll probably understand that. And then the following week, I also had an appointment with the pulmonary doctor. And that's a whole other issue. I would love to get some feedback from all of you because I really don't know. I mean, So getting the CPAP machine and doing the sleep study was quite an ordeal for me. It took a long time out of my, pre-operative process to get the surgery. And that's all good and well. I understand the reason for it. So the pulmonary doctor made me use the CPAP machine for 30 days, and then he would give me clearance, yes or no. And so I go in there to see him, and I was doing fine. If any of you know about the average number, it's like if 5 and below is your optimal score, I guess, and for apneas, and I was below 1 for the average, 0.8, maybe 1. So did really great. So he gave me the approval for surgery. And then we got to talking about some issues. I told him, I don't really like wearing the mask at night. It felt like it woke me up a lot because it would slip off my face and I would have to readjust it all the time, and I shouldn't have even opened my mouth because then he wouldn't accept the fact that was what was waking me up at night. He's like, I think you have restless leg syndrome, and that's one of the things that I'm concerned about. So the fact that you're waking up all the time could be a bigger issue. So I want to send you down and get you some blood work done. And what I'm going to do is give you a call back after we get the results on your blood work, because I think your iron levels are probably too low. And maybe we can just take, iron 3 times a day. There's no way. You know what that stuff does to you. And if that's not going to fix it, then or if your iron levels are fine, then I'm going to prescribe for you this medicine that's for people with Parkinson's disease. I was like, what? I know I'm waking up because this mask keeps slipping off. It's just disrupting my sleep. And he's like, no, it can't be that. It's got to be something else. So fine, whatever. Just give me the approval. Say that I'm clear for surgery. I didn't want to rock that boat. So I went ahead and got the lab work done. Oh, and one other thing he said that he was going to do was change the ramp range on my CPAP machine so it was more in the range that he could tell by looking at my scores that I was using, which would be more comfortable for me. That's great. So that was a whole ordeal where it took a week for them to even get my approval over to my surgeon. It took me making phone calls, and I think I might have gotten into that. I might not have previously, but it was very frustrating, right down to me having to provide the nurse the fax number to the doctor's office because I don't really think they tried. Anyway, it's been a month. I have not heard anything back on the lab work that I paid for. They've not called me to say, you need to take these iron pills or we want to prescribe you something, which I'm kind of glad because I really don't want to take either of these drugs. I think they're totally unnecessary. But I did pay for this lab work that's not being used. And then on top of that, he never contacted the medical supply company to fix the range on my CPAP machine. So there was no follow through. Oh, and I want to see you in 30 days. So 30 days is this next week. So I'm going to call them tomorrow and just say, cancel it. At this point, I'm approved for surgery. There's nothing that you're going to do that's going to change anything. I'll continue to use the CPAP machine. That's fine. But, I mean, just do your job, right? I don't know. What do you think? Do I have the wrong attitude about this? Should I have followed up with them? Quite honestly, haven't been real crazy about this doctor or the way things that he comes up with are crazy, but maybe they're valid. I don't know anything about this kind of work, but it seems crazy too. And I was very frustrated about that. Obviously somebody just didn't do their work. Probably not the doctor's fault. It's probably his office staff didn't follow through on what they were supposed to do. Obviously, since my all clear didn't even get to the surgeon until I made it happen. So, but I don't know. I feel like canceling that appointment and not paying for the blood work they made me take, but that's no big deal. I don't care. So anyway, I shouldn't have turned this into any griping because quite honestly, this is an awesome thing that's going to happen here in a couple weeks. I'm pretty excited. I've got a lot to do. Um, I don't even know what to do. I did find out though that I'm probably going to get 6 weeks off. My company's paying for the full FMLA because it's an awesome company that I work for. And I will take it if they'll give it to me, because if it's all paid 100%, I will relish having the time off and the time to get adjusted to the different phases of my after surgery diet. And I don't know, I won't get bored. I got plenty to do at home. So anyway, I'm super excited, and I just wanted to share that with all of you. And I'm sorry if I keep looking over here instead of at the camera. So I don't know. Anyway, sorry about that. I'm never very good at these videos, but that's what I have for now. So I might do another video before surgery. I don't know what I'm doing right now, but I appreciate those that have taken the time to watch this far, and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.